fortunate to meet Anthony in the street, and he's been very welcoming. But we come here with gripes about Glebe. We don't approve of what you've been doing in Glebe, and I'm not a resident of the places that have been. So the residents were, but I'm representing the residents who are 10-15 minutes away. And we've gone out of our way to collect about 700 of those.
Thank you.
And posted them to you at various times.
Yes.
And we are mostly concerned about Franklyn Street, which involves 100 people. There's another property in Wentworth Park Road, which has about 17 people in it. And it's about to, you've got a DA in with the council about that. And we think that's unnecessary. And we're very concerned about housing, lower income housing. And we're not very happy that your policies are meeting the bill. And we want to express our dissatisfaction with them. So.
Well, thank you, Dennis. Can I just say that my door is always open. If we can do better, we will do better.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for your advocacy and certainly the team around you. But I can assure you that this government is committed and will continue to be committed to delivering the best possible housing outcomes for the people of New South Wales. There is always going to be hiccups, but as I said, if we can do better, let's do better. And I think the fact that you're here today, expressing your concern, I think that's fantastic, because it's only when you sit down with people and run through issues you get great solutions. But I want to thank you.
But that's what we did invite you to come, and you said you were too busy.
No. As a minister, I've been up with the Lismore floods. I've been everywhere. You certainly have departmental representation there to ensure it. And
see, the property at in Wentworth Park Road looks over the aqueduct that goes across.
I know it well.
And underneath all those arches are rough sleepers.
Too many.
And in that fairly modern and fairly up-to-date building, there were empty flats. And there we have and right next door are the rough sleepers, and we felt that's a terrible indictment on our society and your government, and so we really wanted to drive that message home, that we think that there are better solutions than disturbing people who have lived for 10, 20, 30 years in Glebe when others in inner city suburbs, and then turning their buildings into 8-storey buildings.
Look, I think to have people sleeping rough is something that we are addressing. This government has spent more than any other government in investing into social housing across the entire history. But we need to continue to work to ensure that the money we're putting in ensures that it gets to the right people. So, mate, thank you.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
We'll potentially, sort of agree to semi-agree.
Yeah.
But again, thank you for your work and the community's work. But we listen. We listen and we act.
Thank you for your hospitality here to our group.
No, thank you.
Okay. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you
very much.
Thanks very much. Thanks, George.
Okay, we're ready. Go.
Hi. Now we are here at the Minister's office, Minister Anthony Roberts, and he is the Minister for Housing under this Liberal government, who has told me that I must be evicted from my home. I don't want to be evicted. I want to stay in my home, and my house is perfectly adequate for me. Thank you. Please tell him, or I am telling him, that I want to stay in my home. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Edwina. I'm a resident of Franklyn Street, Glebe, and I am currently under the eyes of the Liberal government to have us evicted from the estate. And I'm actually part of a group of many people who will be evicted. And the sad story is that many people that speak very little or no English at all. This is all they have to say is, where do we go? And then they start crying. So, you know, there's not much empathy being given to people with, you know, diverse backgrounds who are culturally and linguistically diverse. And the consultation has been unfair. We weren't allowed to speak during chats in Zoom, and that's not fair, and it's very un-Australian. And to be told before Christmas on November 3 years ago that we were to be evicted, I think that is very Grinch-like. Thanks very much.
Hi, I'm Carolyn. I'm from Wentworth Park Road, Glebe. I'm from Wentworth Park Road, Glebe. I'm First Nations, and this is just another form of colonisation. We're living on unceded land. 50% of the people in my estate have already been moved out. There's been no consultation whatsoever. I got an arrival of a land and housing person last year saying that they were going to survey, and 50% of the people are already out of the building, and I'm one of the remaining residents, and I do not want to be evicted.
Okay, what's that in your hands?
These are signed postcards to the Minister saying retain our homes. I also want to remind the Minister that we have got people who have already been moved, evicted from their homes in Millers Point, evicted from their homes in Jalpa Street, who have moved into our building, and now you expect them to move again. Why is there no actual organisation in your so-called department?
Okay.
And the other upsetting thing too is that on the Glebe estate, both Bay Street and Franklyn Street, there are many young people there, and a very like a high Indigenous population, and no one's doing or reaching out to them either. And last I heard that this development was being shelved for another 2 more years, and I think it should remain there because it's just not a fair process. You know, the consultation was doomed from the start. So,
okay.
Yeah.